this is a little bit of a country credit, as it were. We've been collecting materials from a local farm because they just didn't have the time or the work throughput to do their own composting anymore. And so we're collecting the materials, we're composting the materials. Here's some of the materials right here. If you want to pan over. This is one of the winter compost piles. And a lot of it is material that was after the harvest left over on their farm. Take the truck down there every week, load it up. It's getting, multiple loads a week. Some of those weeks just after harvest. And then at the end of the winter, now we've got this. And so they said, oh, well, they found out that I was sifting the stuff by hand. And they went, oh, Brian, no. We built a machine for this. You gotta take this with you. So here's the machine. It's just a cement mixer that has a couple of bicycle wheels with mesh in between the bicycle wheels affixed to it. So this turns. The material goes in there. It turns. It's very slightly inclined downward. So the big chunks that aren't gonna come apart will just slide down into this bucket. But all the stuff that comes apart and can go through the mesh will go into this nice tarp here. And inside there are like little bits of wire and whatnot that are just strategically placed to try to encourage things to break apart. But it is a major labor saver, and not doing this with multiple cubic yards of compost is a great happiness for me. And this is going to be, the sifted stuff is going to be stuff that we can use to make our potting mix, which I've been doing with some of the hand sifted stuff to great success recently. And then the stuff that doesn't go through will either go into the next compost pile that's called overs in the composting world. So it just gets turned over to the next pile in the sequence. Or if it's fully composted, but it just happens to be intrinsically chunky, go right on to the raised beds. So I'm going to turn this on, and it's probably going to get too loud for me to talk, but hopefully that's a nice overview of what's going on here. And let's fire it up. Remember where the switch is. We got to get this wonderful, delightful machine, which is thoroughly top heavy, off of the truck, which is a bit of an undertaking. It's a modified cement mixer, so it's not really meant to have this much weight up here. So we'll just secure it really quickly so that it doesn't tip back and forth, because this little dinky thing is not really up to the task.
So just for people to know, of course, how much we like to name everything, this is Tina Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she does. She turns those clods into good stuff.
Well, turns it over and over and over, and all the little chunks come up. They go out of the sifting mesh and get aerated and go into a nice tight pile. They are ready to become mulch or constituent parts of potting soil. So a lot of good uses for that. This is one of my favorite kind of things here. I was just going on about this out in the field. If you have a situation like this, where it's like, I want this to be really tight, and I've looped it around a couple of times here, so I got these three right here. By using the rope to pinch these three, you can cinch it down so it becomes tighter. So we'll just go around here and do a half hitch there and cinch that down. Do a couple more just by forcing all those folks who are spread out to get tightened up. closer together, they have to lose a little bit in this direction. So that gets a very nice, tight, cinch down situation. It's not gonna.
We're interfering with Tina's ability to.
She can't turn in this direction. She's only got to go on the roll axis. No yawing, Tina. You got to be rolling. Rolling and rolling.
Okay, tell us the plan.
So the plan is I'm going to get this wheel up and out
Okay.
so that it's hanging over the edge, and then we're going to slide that off, and then we'll take the last wheel off. Oh, there you go. There we go. Over the edge. Let me know when you're off.
Yeah.
We're on. Okay. Now it's time to do the big crunch. We're down. Thank you very much.